KT.
This is Carrah,
Welcome back to Life and the Party.
your unofficial guide to growing up and having fun. Today we have a special guest who will share what it's like switching careers to pursue your passion and who will answer all your skincare questions. Macy Charpentier is a licensed esthetician specialized in medical aesthetics. She's a Merck City native, if you know, you know. And she's an intelligence analyst turned skincare girly. And I'll add one more. She's also our friend, not to brag. So, welcome, Macy. Something that we want to ask every guest. So, you are actually our first official guest for Life in the Party Pod. No big deal. One, how do we know each other? And two, what is your favorite memory with us? It can be together or separate.
So I know both of you through Eileen. Shout out Eileen, also a Merck City native. Yeah, I met you guys in Charleston in my early 20s, and I don't know the exact moment, but I think I met you both definitely for Cinco de Mayo at what's that place? Mex
Next
One.
one. That's what I was thinking too.
We twerked at Republic until 4 a.m. I think, and then went to Strawberry Lane, and then I was crying in the bathroom. And that is my first memory of you guys, and I was like, this is the best.
Wow.
And so then I got really close with Carrah in DC. We were city girls together. That was really fun. And Katie, I just feel like you pop into my life, and it's always we never, any time passed,
Oh yeah, I agree.
which I love.
That's cute. Mex one, I don't know if they still do this, but they used to, I mean, I'm sure they do because they're a Mexican place, but they would always have this big Cinco de Mayo party. And I don't know why we did this, but every time I think of that weekend, I think of us holding those little cuties.
I had a bunch of cuties in my purse. And it was the smallest bag ever, but I made room to carry these little oranges around.
Yeah.
Made for really cute photos.
It reminds me of the Real Housewives of Orange County. I feel like in the intro they're holding an orange, or they toss up an orange. Those were good times. Those were crazy times.
And now here we are.
Who would have known? Okay, Katie, do you want to kind of kick us off?
Yes. So we're gonna jump into sort of why you chose to become an esthetician. Can you talk about your career before and why you switched? Sure. So how was that process for you?
Scary, obviously. It was terrifying. I've done some scary stuff in my life, but that was definitely one of the craziest. So I actually was enrolled to go to esthetician school in South Carolina right after I graduated high school in 2012. And then the week that I was supposed to start school, I joined the Navy Reserves instead.
That's a big switch.
A little different, yeah.
Wow.
But at the time, my sister was getting a job at, if you're from the Charleston area, you know what Spay War is. She was getting a job at Spay War, and she had to get a security clearance. And I was like, I want one. You can't tell me anything about this. It's such an involved process, and you can't tell me anything. So I want to get one so that I know. She's like, you can't just go out and do that. I was like, I think
that.
I think I can. And so it's a very straightforward process as long as you can pass the test to get in, but to actually land in intelligence was pretty difficult. You go through this process called MEPS. I had to go 3 different times just so that they would offer me an intelligence position. And everybody's like, well, why did you choose that? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
No one could talk to me about it. And
you couldn't talk to anyone about it either.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it wasn't even like that. It was just so people didn't know. That's only 1 or 2% of people in the military. It used to be this way. I don't know if it is now, but if you were a certain, they call them rates. So if you were a certain job or a certain rate that was intelligence, you couldn't be a recruiter after that. So recruiters couldn't even like talk to me about it, but that made me want to do it more.
It's
And
mysterious.
it is mysterious. I had
And it's
somebody call me
badass.
hood and cryptic one time, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. So that I did that when I think by the time I got to basic training, I was 19. So I've been in the intelligence community since I was 19 years old. I'm 31 now. I went to college while I was in the reserves. So I joined the Navy Reserves. I wasn't active duty. I was going to University of South Carolina, and a chief that I worked for reached out to me one day and was like, hey, they're like hiring for this position at Shaw. You need to go apply. I don't have any of the qualifications. Like, I'm a sophomore in college, like full time. I'm going to like a bartending shift tonight. I'm going to work till 4 a.m. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, I end up working as a full-time analyst at Shaw Air Force Base for a company called Leidos. So the Air Force was our client. It's kind of how that works. And the connections I made through there are what took me to DC in 2019, right before COVID. So, like, I graduated college and the same week moved to DC. And then 4 months later, COVID would happen. But it was amazing. I traveled the world, made amazing friends, got really, really burned out.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship I was in was amazing, but like it was becoming very obvious we weren't aligned on,
Mm-hmm.
we wanted the same things, but the way it looked to each other was just not in alignment. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go
Like
back.
the moment in the movie, I think I'm gonna go back home.
Like, this is real. This has been fun. No hard feelings, but like I'm out. Like
Mm-hmm.
the SpongeBob being like, I'm gonna head out now.
Yeah.
So I did. And before I even moved back, I don't think I've told anyone this. Before I even like broke up with him and moved back, I had already enrolled in esthetician school.
You were ready to restart. You're like,
I
we are
was. I was like,
starting over.
yeah, I was like, I have to have a plan,
Mm-hmm.
And it might have been, can I cuss on here?
Yeah,
You can cuss a little.
100%.
It might have been fucked up of me. And I think the only person I ever told is like my best friend from DC, Sadaf. Like I was still on a deployment and I had like signed up for esthetician school. I hadn't told my parents, I hadn't told any other friend.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, you're insane. But that's so cool. And I like support you 100%. And so like just have a plan. Like if you're ever, even if you're not going to stick to it, just like having a plan to me is like so comforting, especially in like such a crazy transition like that. But yeah, so I enrolled in esthetician school. I moved home. I gave myself, I think 3 months. I moved home probably in like May, and I didn't start esthetician school until August because I was like, I'm going to take a break for the first time
Yeah.
in my adult life
Yeah.
and just chill for a second, which was really hard.
I mean, is that your
Yeah.
first like big break since high
Yes.
school, college work?
Yeah, that was my first actual break as an adult. I was like, I'm going to process my breakup. I'm going to process leaving this career that like I very deeply identified with. I'm going to process being almost 30 and moving back to my hometown.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But it's been so great. Wouldn't change it for the world. And I
Yeah.
like I still do some consulting. So, I still have my toe in it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But aesthetics has been so rewarding. And I think that I don't have a lot of years of experience in this, but people like my patients and my clients, when I talk to them, they're like, oh, you've been doing this your whole life. I'm like, no, like I've been practicing for a little over a year.
Yeah.
The background I have in research and not being afraid to dive into topics that I know nothing about, like chemistry, laser physics, just medical stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about any of that, but I know how to research. I know how to ask questions, and I'm not afraid to kind of like push back on people when I have questions or, I want to do it a different way, or ask them why they do something a certain way. So I think that's what's given me a lot of confidence. And I'm so glad I waited to come back to this. I mean, I literally took like a 10-year detour before I came back to aesthetics. But I'm so glad I waited because I can talk to anybody. Like I learned, I was taught how to brief when I was 19, and they just rip you apart every single day when you're in intelligence school and ask you questions they know you're not ever going to be able to answer. And that, I think, gave me a lot of confidence to just be able to talk to patients, walk them through stuff that's really scary for them and really complicated for me to even understand, and try to convey that to them. So
that's super cool. Well, so what was the schooling and certification like to become an esthetician? Like, what's some things that you had to learn, and how was that process?
I went to Southeastern Aesthetics Institute. I think it's Southeastern Wellness Institute now because they've grown so much. Courtney Sykes is the owner and operator, founder. She is also from Sumter. She's a Mark City
Wait,
native.
I did not know that.
I know. And so we know each other. And just like I said, I was going to start school the week that I joined the reserves. And so when I came back, I called her. I was like, Courtney, I'm back. Like, it's been 10 years. I don't know if I called her, it was an email or what, but I was like, it's been 10 years, but I told you I would come back. I told you I was going to like come back to this one day. And here I am. She has I think she's like the best school in the Southeast. It's a huge program. I think I did 650 hours of training. The first day we were doing facials on each other. You just get used to touching other people, touching people you don't know, which is really weird. Like if you're a new patient, we're strangers and I'm just gonna like put my hands on you.
Yeah.
So you have to get used to doing that, which was really interesting. Especially if you're shy. Like we had a lot of shy girls who like that was too much for them. And within the first week, they were like, this is not for me. And they dropped out.
Interesting.
Oh, because of that, like social aspect of it?
Yeah. I mean, think of how intimate that is.
Yeah.
Like when's the last time you touched someone else's face?
I touch Ryan's face, but
that's your husband though, right? Like
but he has facial hair, so I feel like I'm not actually touching his face.
Yeah.
Touching his hair.
But like that's really intimate. So
I hold my manicurist's hands. So let's pretend that I'm not like
really intimate. Like
I'm just like we're in love now.
I mean, some people can't even carry a conversation, so it makes sense that they don't want to touch somebody's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't think about that.
Yeah.
It's so anyways, there's that. And then, we learn, I would say my favorite part was like learning skin chemistry and ingredient chemistry, which is just, that is skincare. What they write on the front of the package is 99% of the time not what that product is actually doing.
Yeah.
Or it's misleading, which sucks. And that's how people get themselves into trouble. But like, that's why I'm here. I can turn over the bottle and like read the ingredients and know what's going to happen. So diving into chemistry was really fun, considering pretty sure I didn't do very well in that. Turns out if they would have just put everything into terms of skincare, I would have like really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was long days. It was really boring sometimes, but it was so rewarding at the end of the day. And then probably our last, and I think this is what makes Southeastern Aesthetics really different, is our last, I want to say like 5 weeks, we did nothing but work in her student spa, which is where people pay like $5 to come get a facial or something like that, like just enough to cover the cost of product that we're going to use on them during the service. And we practice on, it's not even practice. Like we're seeing clients and doing real, services on them. So that was really cool. That was probably my favorite part because it was like, okay, this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah. You're like, I can finally apply everything I've been like sitting in here learning about.
And thinking about for 10 years too, like this is it. This is the moment.
Well, it's funny. I had never, until probably 4 months before I actually made the decision to switch, I had not thought about it again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It had not crossed my mind.
I remember when you and I think, I don't know if we like went I think we went to lunch and then we got coffee, and this was in Alexandria, maybe.
Yes.
And I think you started talking to me about how you were thinking about or considering, and maybe you had already applied at this point and you were like testing the waters by like telling me.
No, that was right before my last deployment.
Yeah, I was like, do it.
As an analyst, and you were like, absolutely.
I think if you're thinking about anything long enough and you're burnt out and you want a change of like pace, I would say like 10 out of 10 times, like go for it.
Yeah, but like be prepared to be scared.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that.
And be uncomfortable. And like a career change like that, like what you did, is very rewarding, but also like a lot of things are different. Like there's different job requirements. It's a different way of living. It's different pay. Like, especially if you want to start your own business one day, like you're going to have to build up to it.
Before I even had my license, I had signed a lease to rent a room inside of a massage studio on Main Street in Columbia. #Sante Aesthetics. And that was terrifying.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not even licensed yet. Like, what if I don't pass my test? What if I like pass my practical on time? Like, I'm just blowing money. And it's like, nope, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like I have to do something like that to hold myself accountable.
Yeah.
And like I'm so happy I have enough self-awareness for that. I would say it's probably one of my biggest strengths is just like knowing the criteria that I need to push myself to like make something happen. And then a couple of months after that, I was just casually applying for esthetician jobs at med spas. And so I got a call back one day and they wanted to meet me like the next day. And then within like 3 days, I was hired at a medical spa in Somerville, and they agreed to teach us all like put us through like a laser program to learn how to operate lasers and do things that you don't learn in your standard aesthetics course in South Carolina. South Carolina actually does not have a standardized state program to like teach laser physics and how to do procedures like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, South Carolina is a little behind on the times when it comes to
That's shocking.
No way. Who knew?
And I read this thing on Reddit. It was like a way I had never really thought about it before, but it was specific to South Carolina, which was really odd. They were like, it's kind of oppressive how tight our scope of practice used to be and still is. And it's kind of like, oh, you just want to like play makeup. You don't need to be dermaplaning anybody with a scalpel. You don't need to be microneedling without a doctor who's usually a man watching you in the same room. You don't need to be doing these. And some people don't.
Yeah.
But that's why you put training programs out there that are standardized by the state, standardized by medical boards. And I'm just like, seems like you guys don't want to do that.
They want to keep the power with specific people so they can continue to make a lot of money off of that, and they don't want any more competition.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Also, wait, I wanted to add in a side note because a lot of people probably don't know the Sumter lore. Maybe we'll have a full Sumter episode one day.
Have a Sumter.
Yeah, but the reason like we kind of thought, the reason I was so surprised that Courtney Sykes is from Sumter is because I use her moisturizer now because of you. But there's something, if you live in South Carolina or in the Southeast in general, probably, Sumter people are just everywhere. And they're like little, like they come out of the woodworks, and I'm surrounded by Sumter or Merc City, the Merc City Billionaires Club. Yes. I'm just like surrounded by them everywhere I go. They just like come out of nowhere, and they're always hot. Like
not you guys simultaneously.
Yeah. It is so weird. There's something in the water there. Keep an eye out. Like, drop a comment if you know anyone from Sumter.
Yeah, I'd love to know how far our reach goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe one day they'll be like our main audience for this
I
podcast.
hope so.
We're just gonna rebrand.
Yeah.
I think Arthur was the first person to like verbalize that. He was like, "What is happening in Sumter?" I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yes. And personality. I gotta say, like,
Mhm.
I don't think I've met anyone from Sumter who's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Sumter's a very exciting place in its own special way.
I mean, we came to visit. We saw
Yeah,
the local
you
spots.
guys were there for
Yeah.
the first and only.
Merc City extravaganza.
Just know it's gonna be crazy.
We have a couple more questions about like the career before we jump into a bunch of skincare things. What is the difference between an esthetician with an E and a esthetician with an AE? Yeah. Is there a difference at all?
Not really. I mean, contextually, maybe you see, like on my license from South Carolina, it is esthetician with an E.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say you generally see esthetician with an A in terms of a medical esthetician, like at a medical spa.
Okay.
Or plastic surgeon's office or dermatology office or something like that. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But like as far as like day spa and stuff go, you generally see aesthetics with an E. Like for me, Santé Aesthetics is Santé Aesthetics with an E. But my name tag for the medical spa I work at is medical esthetician with an A.
So you're both. You're an esthetician / esthetician.
Yeah.
Okay, so I also wanted to talk about something that I think is very cool about like your outlook on skincare and kind of what you're bringing to the space are your virtual consultations. And it's something that I've done with you. Before I even did that with you, I think for the longest time, I was like, I feel the same way about plants. I wish there was someone I could call, pay a fee, and just like get some of my questions answered or know, like, are these like 5 things I've been doing for like 15 years wrong?
Or
like
the TikTok trends, right?
There's like influencers who are paid to push products. There's articles you can read who are paid to write about those products. And so it's like, unless I want to wait like 4 months to make an appointment with someone else who is going to charge me a lot of money, like I want, your style of virtual consultation. Like you're focusing on helping people decode skincare, which I like how you word that, so they can save time, money, and their skin. Like,
yes.
Perfect. So can you talk a little bit about what your virtual consultations are like and what you're wanting to offer through them?
Yeah, like my first question to you is what are your skin goals? And what in your skincare routine, if you have one, do you feel like is not serving you? What are you doing that you're just like, I just do this because like saw a TikTok.
Yeah.
Which I'm not on TikTok and I never will be. Sorry. So yeah, it's really personal. It's like 30 minutes. It's a lot of you telling me what you're doing now and what you're just not happy with, or maybe you're happy with it and you're like, hey, could this be better? It's really, I want to make it really personal because this is not a cop out, but everyone's skin is so different.
Yeah.
Like age, how much damage you've done to your skin. And I don't mean that like you've done something bad.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering that goes on in the skincare space. And I want to like take that out of the picture. But the damage that's already been done to your skin is a huge factor. I want to see your skin. Like, I want to know what you're using. Are you consistent? Do you just kind of use whatever you can get your hands on? What's your budget? And I want to say, people are like, well, what's the best skincare? Like, where can I start? Don't go to Sephora. Don't go to Ulta. Contact a professional.
Yeah.
You want to save money? Contact a professional that's not affiliated with any specific brand or anything like that, or any system or something, contact a professional and have them tell you about your skin. Because just like I was telling you earlier, like I've done all the research, the painstaking research
Yeah.
to understand what these products are doing and how they're interacting with your skin. So I take all the guesswork out in my consultations. And what that ends with is in a couple of days, you get a guide from me. I have guides put together already. Like I have a freebie guide out that's just like, I am confused. My skin hates me. This is a reset. This is where you can start to reset your skin. That is kind of a blanket that's not going to hurt anyone's skin.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just gets more personalized. So like you have a consultation with me. We talk about your goals. I look at your skin. You tell me what you're using now. You talk about your budget, which that's also really personal. That's another really intimate thing. Like not only am I talking to some people about their biggest insecurities, about their skin that they just can't fix for some reason. They feel helpless. And now we have to talk about money. Like, oh my gosh, like I've had some people like cry in the treatment room with me because they're like, I feel like this is going to be so expensive. And
yeah, that's sad.
I want my skin to be me, mine again. Some people feel held hostage by their skin. I have felt that way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've struggled so much with my skin. But just be ready to be real. When I ask questions, I'm not like trying to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people feel. They're like, I think I've been doing this wrong. Like,
yeah.
It's okay. Up until like 3 years ago, I wouldn't have known either. I had no idea what I was doing. Lucky for y'all, I have like done all the research for you.
Yeah.
When you have a consultation with me, you don't have to think about it anymore because I'm going to send you a guide that spells it out personally for you, which I just think is really cool because I'm like, I wish I would have had that in my 20s when I was tearing up my skin.
It's also just so expensive to try every new thing that comes out. Oh, but this one's a little bit cheaper. This one's not. The time it takes for all of that to work. Like, you can get rid of all of that and stay focused and just maybe like miss all of that completely. Unlike us, probably, who all did those things.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But like, it genuinely breaks my heart.
Yeah.
When I hear people who have like, well, this TikTok showed me all the drunk elephant things to buy and this girl's skin looks so good. Guess what? 99% of people on TikTok, Instagram, they're all using the same filter that makes it look like there's no pores, there's no perioral lines, they don't have lines in their forehead, they don't have crow's feet. It's not real. It's not real skin. I can't give you that. Instagram can give you that.
Yeah.
Instagram can give you that. But if you want like real life, real skin help, I can do that.
Especially when you don't see real skin as much anymore. I think that's a big thing is people see everything is heavily filtered. You're right, no pores, no lines, no anything. Yeah. So re-understanding what real skin looks like is probably part of the process. Like what it's actually supposed to look like for you.
I sent my photos back. We got professional photos done at the med spa I work at. And I was like, that's not what I look like. I understand you have to do some editing, but send this back to me half as edited. Because this is a lie. Like I can't show my patients this. My skin looks great, sure. At the time, it did really good. But I'm like, I don't look like this.
Yeah, I respect that.
Same.
And like the amount of people I come in, it's like, how can I make my pores smaller? I'm like, you can't. I'm sorry. Yeah. You have pores. You need them. Don't make them smaller
on your face.
Yes, I love when I'm like talking to someone and I can like see into their pores and they're clean and their like face is shiny. Like I'm like, oh, that's like the best.
That's healthy skin.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So that brings me to like a few questions that Katie and I had. Because my first question for you is going to be like, what are some of the most common misconceptions about skincare? And it seems like one of them, I think especially for our generation, I don't know why, but millennials, we've always been really focused on like being able to see your pores, pore size, the pore nose strips that we used to have when we were younger, like scrubbing our pores until they're raw.
Those exfoliating beads that
Yes.
Exfoliating beads and I don't even remember what it's called. It was like those pads.
Noxzema.
Noxzema.
I used those when I was a teenager, and I'm like, I was using those before I needed to use them.
Nobody needs
Like
to
I
use
didn't, yeah, but like I didn't even have, I remember using them like as a kid. I didn't have like acne or anything, but I
No.
think my older brother used them. And so I started using them, and I feel like I can still smell what they smelled like.
They remind me of my mom.
They smelled like Axe and alcohol or something. Like they had such a strong
menthol.
smell. Yeah. But like if you could just pick like a couple, because I know we have a ton of questions, but like
Sure.
what are some other common misconceptions about skincare that you run into?
You cannot change the size of your pores. And in fact, if you're a woman, your pore size changes with your cycle.
Oh.
Your pores are what produce oil, and the bigger they are, the more oil they can let out, which is called your sebum. Skin sebum is like the oil you might see and feel on your face. It's amazing for you. That is a huge thing I get all the time. Let's see what else. Botox does not make wrinkles go away.
Okay. Explain that.
I mean, I have really like spent like half an hour with some of my patients trying to like help them understand this. So Botox does one thing. And so Botox is also a brand. It's a brand of a strain of things called neuromodulators. It does one thing and one thing only, and that is paralyzes the muscle that it is injected to.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything to the top of your skin that we see. What it does do, so like my Botox is pretty, I think I got it like a month ago. My Botox is also wonky. This eyebrow is dropped a lot. So like it even happens to us guys. Like it even happens to us in the industry. I promise we're not trying to mess you up. I've had some people come in and accuse us of that. By the way, estheticians do not inject. I do the consultation. I like talk to you about what you want, and then I go talk to the doctor about it, or the PA or the MP. Anyway, so back to the question. Does one thing and one thing only, paralyzes muscles. That's it. The reason why that can help with your wrinkles is because I call that like the skin on top of that paralyzed muscle is now resting. It's not being moved and, you know, like wrinkled on top of each other with every expression that we make.
Yeah.
Like I've got a little bit, but nowhere near like what I would have if I didn't have Botox right now.
Yeah.
So if you get that done over time consistently, your skin can repair those wrinkles a little bit on its own. You can enhance that with chemical peels, laser treatments, using retinol at home, having a consistent skincare routine at home. And depending on your goals and the depth of your wrinkles already, you can shift that a little bit depending on how aggressive you want to be with your treatment. Not that there's anything wrong with having wrinkles on our face. It's okay. That means we make expressions. We're never going to stop doing that.
Interesting. Yeah. I like that. Do you think there's any demographic of people that have that assumption? Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the younger people are kind of like in the know on that. Do you think or is it like across the board?
I think it's across the board.
Okay.
You know, like I've had people coming in for people who've been getting Botox for years and don't know that because nobody sat down and explained it to them. They just come in, stick them with the needle, and leave.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The lack of education throughout their patient care.
And I don't know exactly what it is. It's like some people don't care. Some people just want their treatment and to leave.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to be treating you personally, it's my due diligence and it makes me feel safe as a practitioner.
Yes.
To know that you know why I'm doing something and what your treatment is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
at a level that's not super nerdy.
You're like,
right?
I'm not making them watch a 20-minute presentation.
Right. No.
You have Adams over here.
Sometimes I feel like my consultations are like that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop talking now. But patients, 9 times out of 10, are usually like, no, please keep talking, because nobody's ever sat down and explained this to me. And I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah.
I am so sorry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have about 8 questions that we've had submitted that I want to give like a little round of applause to the people who submitted these questions, because a lot of times, I mean, we're a little silly, so our audience is a little silly. We'll get like jokey or vulgar submissions, but these were really good. And they're things like, some of them I've thought of and some of them I hadn't considered. So I'll let Katie go ahead and like kick those off.
Of course. I mean, I am a victim of acne skin. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like genetic. Like my dad still has it. I went to a dermatologist when I was a kid and have been on like a skincare, I don't say routine, I put that in quotes, since I was like 12. Sure. So I've always struggled with acne. I still have some. So we have a few questions related to that. So one of them is, how do you treat acne when you're allergic to everything? I'm assuming that means allergic to skincare ingredients, or like the best things that you can use right now to help with acne.
Yeah. As someone who is allergic to everything outdoors and topically, I am so sorry. Like that, it sucks. That sucks. That's a really crappy position to be in, because unless you get a ton of blood work done and like biopsies done, you don't know what's going to trigger that allergic reaction. Like to me, even like recently, everybody's like, oh my gosh, like you're an esthetician, you get to try all the new skincare. I'm like, absolutely not. I have my things that I use. I do not deviate from them unless there is a groundbreaking product that I have researched so extensively. Yeah. Like I just added in a new moisturizer and a new serum for the first time in probably a year and a half. Other than that, I've used like the same 4 products and I will not stray from that, because I'm so scared. Even as a practitioner, I'm scared, and to get my skin to come back from an allergic reaction like that, y'all, it's so hard. And so, like I said, I'm so sorry if you're dealing with sensitive, reactive, allergic skin and acne, because that's heartbreaking. So what I would say is, this is tough. What I would say is get as close to 0 as possible. And by that, I mean 0 products. It's very important to wash our face and it's very important to moisturize our face, right? But if your skin is in a reactive state right now, that could actually be the cause of your acne, because it's you're so deeply inflamed that through your skin cycles, that inflammation just continues to come up because you're putting something on your skin that is continuing to inflame it at the deepest levels. It could also be systemically inflamed, and it's just showing up mostly in your face. There just could be so many things, and that's why I'm not trying to plug myself or anything, but like that's why having a consultation is so important, because it could be anything.
Yeah.
And so just finding what works and sticking to that religiously, like make it a part of your personality. Like I do not deviate from my skincare. I tell people, I'm like, if you want to change something, go get your nails done, go get your hair colored. Do not change your skincare routine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I had that
Don't go to Sephora and buy something crazy.
It took me like 10 years to change my face wash, because I was like, I think this is literally for high schoolers. I'm 28. I need to maybe get a different one. That was a big deal for me.
My body wash, y'all are gonna die. This is my like secret that I tell any of my patients. I use CVS brand 2% salicylic acid face wash for my face and body wash for like the last 2 years now. And it has been the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
I remember you told me that. That's what I use for my face.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
amazing.
used it as body wash. I would.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be crazy, and I found what works for me,
Mm-hmm.
and that works for me. It also works for a lot of people. It's great for acne. It helps kill bacteria and cleans out our pores, and if that is part of the reason you have acne, that's going to be great for you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, if it's because your skin is super deeply inflamed and it's irritated, that might not be a very good option. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just skincare so personal. So personal.
Okay, so for a lot of people who have acne, what is something that they can do, like the number one cause of acne that's avoidable, like changing pillowcases, like your diet? Is there something someone could do right now that would help clear their skin a little bit?
It just depends on why that acne is happening. But what I tell people is like, keep your skin clean, cool, and moisturized.
Okay.
You could just start there. So like the guide that I have posted on my Instagram right now, or you can DM me and I'll send it to you. It's like the reset guide. It's just really simple, really basic. It gets you close to zero, and it's cleansing but nourishing ingredients. That alone gets people where they want to be sometimes, because their skin's usually just confused and tired and inflamed,
Yeah.
and it just wants a break.
Bothered. It's bothered.
Yeah.
It's bothered. Yeah. So I would say clean, cool, and moisturized.
All right.
That's a good place to start for most people. And where a lot of people go wrong with acne is they're like, my skin's oily, so I don't want to put moisturizer on it. No, it's oily because it's screaming. It's so thirsty. You're like starving it of moisture. So
Okay. That's good to know. So it's not like just cut out dairy, no more acne for you. It's very
that's rarely the
where
problem.
that acne comes from.
That's
okay.
rarely the problem. I'm gonna get beef for saying that probably, but people identify with that really strongly.
Yeah. Well, all you have time to give is like a small piece of advice. Obviously, this isn't like applicable to every single person, and it's not going to make everyone look perfect.
Yeah.
So,
this is not
disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's why you're supposed to contact Macy. But if you could recommend one skincare product right now, what would you tell everyone about?
There is a serum from The Ordinary. I think it's $15. It's bright pink, but it's got a ton of vitamin B ingredients in it. That's why it's bright pink. A lot of vitamin B ingredients are pink in color, like B12. If you've ever gotten a B12 shot, it's probably pink. So it's got B12 in it. It's got, I'm going to get these wrong. It's got like B3, B5. One of those is niacinamide. I'm sure everybody's heard of niacinamide. Our skin loves B vitamins. And so I religiously use that morning and night before I put anything else on my face. It's called Soothing and Barrier Support Serum by The Ordinary. I wash my face and I put that on, let it chill for a second, and it is exactly what it said. It soothes it and gives it support to take in the next product without irritating my skin. It gives me like a little barrier to kind of reduce that inflammation, reduce any potential inflammation or irritation. I would say that's like one of the best finds I have come across.
Perfect. That's
hell yeah. I'm gonna go buy it.
Yeah.
Later today.
Maybe buy me one too. Thanks.
I've had so many people buy it. Like The Ordinary should start giving me a cut.
Let's see. Should people be using Vaseline on their face or wherever they want to keep their skin soft and shiny?
I'm going to get heat for saying this too. No, please don't. Please don't put Vaseline on your face.
Yeah.
Don't put Aquaphor on your face.
Yeah.
They have petroleum in it. It's a petroleum derived product. There are so many conflicting studies on it that I'm just like, it's unclear, so don't do it.
Yeah. I like that advice.
It can also be highly irritating. I can't remember which one it is. It's either Aquaphor or Vaseline that has lanolin in it. So many people are allergic to lanolin. It can be great, but it can also destroy your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Your skin needs oxygen. The only thing Vaseline and Aquaphor do is create a barrier. It's like putting saran wrap over your face. Whatever is underneath that Vaseline or Aquaphor will be trapped in, and whatever is on the outside of your skin will not penetrate. So think about that. If you have not washed your face properly, which I'm sorry, but most of y'all at the house are not washing your face.
Called out.
Uh-oh.
And that's like the biggest part of people's problem. And they're like, you mean I just have to wash my face a certain way and like my problems are going to be solved? Yeah, sometimes it can be that. It can be that simple.
Yeah.
It's not always that simple, but it can be. So you got to think, if I haven't washed my face the best and I put on something that was irritating and then I put this Vaseline over it, I'm trapping all that inside. Same thing with pimple patches, guys. I'm going to get heat for that too. Pimple patches just can, if you got bacteria still underneath that pimple, you're just creating a little incubator. And your skin needs oxygen. You are starved of oxygen when you slug your face or you put on Vaseline. There's no moisture content in Vaseline and Aquaphor. It's just a barrier. That's it. And it's shiny. So some people like that. I love shiny skin. I love shiny skin because it's moisturized though. So I would not.
Perfect.
A good moisturizer is all you need.
That was going to be my guess. I'm also anti-pimple patch. I think it's like just a way to make money. What a smart business idea. Hey, let's sell these cute little Band-Aids that people can put on their face when they have pimples.
Insecurities.
Yeah, so they can hide it. And then think of how many people have acne-prone skin, usually have multiple pimples on your face. I'm like just doing the math of like how much product you can sell. That's just like a business that you're feeding into. What product or products that are trendy do you refuse to promote no matter what?
The really expensive ones for no reason. Like, I think Drunk Elephant's one of them for sure. It's crazy. Like they're fine products. They're fine, but it's so insanely expensive. Like you're buying the name.
Yep.
That's it. And it's hard for me to say because I don't really keep up with the trends because I'm still like in my own world on it. If you guys wanted to ask me about a couple, that might be best because y'all are probably more in tune with it than I am.
I'm honestly not because I don't like spending money. And so I've tried to avoid looking at trends.
So it's like the like slugging trend, the pimple patches, the Drunk Elephant. Like, I'm like, why are you guys doing this? That's so expensive. And these products are fine, but there are some products out there. Like there's a brand called Elastin. They've got products that go up into the $180 range. And let me tell you, there's one of their products that I would like miss a meal so that I could buy it. Like that's how good it is. But it's the technology and the science behind their product that make it so good that I don't mind telling someone, hey, if your budget allows for it, this is for you.
And if you're actually taking care of the rest of the things you should be taking care of with your skin, like expensive products aren't going to help you if you're not doing the basics.
Absolutely. Good point.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. I feel like as we've been asking you questions, I've been thinking of like all these subtopics. Yeah, like all these subtopics we can break things into. So like, I mean, like the maintenance 101, like I feel like that's a subtopic. I feel like your skin and your cycle is probably we could talk about for hours.
There's definitely more to come on this.
So thank you so much for answering all of our audience questions, our questions. I feel like I've learned a lot and there's so much more I want to learn. So we should do like a million more of these.
Yeah.
So as we close, like where can people follow you online and how do they reach out to you for a virtual consultation?
Yeah. So the best way right now is on Instagram. at Macy's _faces. So MACYS _faces. That's on Instagram. I do have a Facebook. That's fine too, but I feel like nobody really like uses Facebook anymore. The page is Santé Aesthetics. Santé means to health in French. So like instead of cheers, they'll say santé. And so I thought that was really cute.
Classy.
I know.
Which I love. I just love that because it's not about, I don't say anti-aging or anything like that. I say healthy aging. Like I'm all about like, I want healthy skin is beautiful skin, and everybody's is different. So that's where you can find me. DM me. I also have, I think, a link in my bio for like a Calendly link where you can just get on my calendar and we'll do a consultation. Yeah, I'm working on getting my website back up. I'm in like a huge transition phase right now for some really exciting stuff.
Yay!
Keep it a little secret right now because I don't want to jinx anything. But yeah, I'll have my website back up soon. Just get on my calendar and we'll talk about it, and we'll figure out the details later. And if you want my like the reset guide, I think that's in my Instagram bio too. So Instagram's going to be like the best place to find me. Or you can email me at macysfaces@gmail.com. That's a good place too.
Perfect.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Macy. We love you. You're a queen.
Illy, bye.
Illy, bye. Thanks everyone for joining us for our episode with Macy, all about skincare. We got some amazing questions from you guys, and I know we didn't have time to answer all of them during the episode, so please check us out on social media. We're going to answer the rest of those questions on our Instagram and TikTok. So Katie, do you want to tell them where they can find us?
You bet. You can follow us on TikTok at Life in the Party Pod, Instagram and YouTube at Life in the Party. So thank y'all so much. We hope now everyone will have beautiful skin, or at least be on the path to it.
Also, we'll probably have Macy on in the future, so don't hesitate to reach out to us with more questions, and make sure to follow her where she is on Instagram. Thanks. Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye.